All right, Coach Frye, big week for your program. It's the 2018 home opener, the Weems Basket Invitational, Friday and Saturday at Kreger Track here in Columbia. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first, you guys did open the outdoor portion of the season last week in Orlando at UCF's meet. A lot of positives from that one, I know. 4 event victories. You're especially happy, I know, with how your 4x1 women's group performed to run 44.9 in their season opener, even with what I know was kind of a shaky handoff. That gives you a lot of encouragement for what that group can accomplish this year.
Yes, it really does. I was excited to see that they are carrying over quite well from the, from the indoor meet. Maya Denton ran a personal best in the 200 meters indoors, which got her excited about being the sprinter. She's had a good indoor season, and then comes my Parks. Had an 8:30 for the hurdles indoors. So you start seeing the juniors start to develop a little bit here, and that gave us a chance to think that we could be pretty good. Plus, they traveled last year and were All-Americans on the relay. But we're starting out, and you like to do this. You like to start out where you finished last year. So to be 44.9, the first one out, and to be a 44 mid last year, it's really exciting because normally you improve about a second from where you start. Last year we started right under the edge of 46, and you end up at mid 45. So 44. So that's kind of encouraging, and so I'm really thrilled about that. And so are the kids. They're a unit, and there's 8 of them that can possibly run. So we're not a one-dimensional, one injury away from not being able to run fast any given time. So that's exciting. So we can really have practices. When you only got 4 people and somebody's has a bad day going to class, it ruins your workout for the other 3. Right now, depth is a wonderful thing as team sports understand. So I'm excited about that.
He had a couple athletes who didn't get to compete last outdoor season who came back and really performed well. Aaliyah Abrams winning the 400, Shelby Friedman winning the javelin in her first competition in a couple years. And even though he's new to the team and wasn't injured last season, Rivaldo Laycock in the 400 meters on the 400 meter hurdles on the men's side. All 3 of those were victorious, and all 3 of them I know did the sort of things that give you hope that they can really accomplish a lot once we get to the postseason.
Well, and Shelby is really, is an overcomer. Injury after being an All-American with great hopes of making that next step to being a trials qualifier for the World Championships trials. So we had a lot of hopes and dreams, and that was devastating for her. To have thrown that way early, and then the last of the season, and then come up injured, so she couldn't keep that progress going. And to see her endure and come back and get operated on and work through that and come back, it's difficult for throwers, baseball pitchers, or anyone that's got thrown. When they get operated on the arm, you get nervous if they're ever going to return. And to see her just stay solid. She didn't go through a real low in the classroom. She didn't go through a low at any point. She's a team captain and been involved with the team. So you pull for a kid that stays on an upbeat. You pull for all of them, but when you see one stay upbeat and you don't have to go through extra to lift them up, and she's lifting everybody else up. And so you want good things to happen for her, because and good things are starting. So that's a long season with that elbow, and we're gonna pray and hope that it stays together, because she's got the kind of heart to go back and be an All-American, and that's what we dream of. And the same with Aaliyah. Aaliyah, operation on a foot, and which she had foot problems all the way from her sophomore year in high school, but just thought pain was something you endure. And for her now, her health as she's been, she'll tell you now, I don't feel anything. I have never felt this way where I don't feel anything. And so we're excited about it. To open up and right at somewhere in the top 5 in the country on her first run is awesome. So we're excited to see what she's going to do in her home opener here.
One more before we talk about that home meet on the men's side. First preseason poll of the year came out yesterday. You guys are 13. That's as high as you've been preseason in 7 or 8 years. It's as high as you've been overall in about 2 years. So you got a lot of athletes that I know have a lot of expectations. How do you take that preseason ranking and channel it into a positive and not something that kind of weighs you down, but something that you're aiming to accomplish once you get to the postseason and validate that ranking?
I think our guys got indoors was a big shot. It gave them the hopes that they can see that if you can get 2 athletes to have a top level performance, it gives you a good chance at the nationals. And I think we got more than 2 with that shot. That ranking may be a little higher because they don't understand it. We may be redshirting more Isaiah. Because he's in a really heavy academic load and come off and some injuries. So that right there, they're figuring him to be really high up. And so maybe we can make that ranking because we still got TT and we still got Josh and we still got a decathlete that hasn't performed yet. So we got some really couple big hitters, so I wouldn't count us out of being 13th in the country. I'm just saying, with Isaiah, I would have thought it was probably top 10 in the country. So I think they underrate us with Isaiah if he's on the team, but since he's gone redshirt, I still think 13th, we can reach 13th in the country. Intermediate hurdle, I didn't get to speak on Laycott, but I want to talk about Laycott.
Sure.
Really, he was a 50.80 kid as a junior, and then last year he went back to being 51 mid. But the other day in his first race out, I can see the possibilities of him being a mid 50 guy, and so I'm really excited about a freshman that comes out and opening up his first race like that because he alternated 4 times, and Carolina, we just don't do that. So he's gonna reduce those each week, and by the time he's on the same, because he can hurdle both sides, by the time he's halfway through the race without having alternated twice, then we'll see almost a second drop off of that time.
Let's talk about that home meet Friday and Saturday. It gets rolling at 9 a.m. both days. I think it'll probably last until maybe 8 p.m. on Friday, maybe 6 p.m. or so on Saturday. So lots of opportunities for people to come on out to Sheila and Morris Craigor Track. It's free admission. First home meet of the year. It's always exciting. You got a large group of good teams that are coming, and I know you'd love to see the stands absolutely packed this weekend.
Yeah, you better get it free now. Because, as track is growing into a great sport with the facilities we have 1,500 athletes coming in to run here. And as our indoor track, we're having our team meeting today. The first time the kids are going to get a chance to sit on our banks at the indoor track. We hadn't finished the infield, but the feel as you moved from last year to this year, just with the way our rankings are going, the way people are asking to be, and the way the hotels are filling up, a track can become a balanced out program where that we can make the money it takes to run a program, and that's a goal of any track program because we're always a liability. All we do is provide that healthy, positive 3-point grade point average with 100 kids to your university. But when you get the facilities that we have, you can start charging for track meets. Now, we've been putting on great shows here, so I would think that people who like to see just pure athletics, where very few people get concussions and very few injuries that go on. It's long, but it's a la carte. If you like sprinting, you get to see sprinting at the time of the day. If you like distance, you get to come late in the evening when it's cooler and get to see it. And if you like field events, we got great venues. And then we paid great money to bring in a video board and scoreboards such that people can follow each event that they like. So you can pick where you want to sit. We got right there, there's about 800 seats for spectators. So you get a chance to see future Olympians.
Should be a lot of fun. Like Coach said, a lot of future Olympians in the field, a lot of future champions. It all gets rolling Friday at 9 a.m., goes all the way to Friday evening into Saturday at 9 till about the early evening, maybe 6 o'clock, and free admission out at Craigor Track. A great opportunity at the Weems Basket Invitational. Coach, good luck this weekend. We'll talk to you Friday and Saturday, and as always, rooting hard for the Gamecocks to bring some trophies home.